With the new year upon us, it's natural to feel the pull towards self improvement. Many of us, myself included, are eager to turn over a new leaf, to work out more, eat healthier, be kinder, and tackle countless other aspirations. Yet, more often than not, these resolutions are abandoned by February, leaving us with a sense of failure and frustration. But here's the thing, it doesn't have to be that way. 2025 can be the year you transform your health and happiness. Not by diving into extreme or unsustainable changes, but by taking a thoughtful, realistic, and enjoyable approach to self improvement. The key is to first uncover what you truly want, then map out a path that allows you to achieve it with joy and purpose. This isn't about being perfect or making sweeping, unrealistic promises, but instead it's about embracing a mindset of growth and finding fun, meaningful ways to incorporate change in your daily routine. After all, the best routines are the ones that you stick to, the ones that feel so natural you can't help but turn them into habit. So let's make this your year, one step, one habit, and one joyous moment at a time. First and foremost, it's important to set realistic goals. If you haven't run a mile in the past 5 years, you're probably not going to do an ultra marathon this year. And that's okay. Knowing your limitations can help you set a realistic macro level goal, like running a 10K, which is an accomplishment in and of itself. These macro level goals allow us to have definite endpoints to use as a guiding light. Unlike formless goals prone to failure, like completely cutting out sugar or running every day, having macro level goals allows plans to change while continuing forward momentum. The single most important part of a macro level goal is ensuring that you genuinely want to achieve it. Doing something purely out of obligation, for most people, is not a sustainable path towards growth. The first sign of failure will be an easy excuse to say, well, I tried, and throw in the towel. Your goal should be meaningful and have opportunity to let more fun into your life. There's no virtue in being miserable all the time or suffering for the sake of suffering. You're allowed to have fun while working on yourself. That being said, even with a positive mindset, it can be overwhelming to see such a daunting task in front of you. This feeling, however, is shockingly uncomplicated to overcome. You see, you can break down your macro level goals into smaller micro level goals, such as monthly, weekly, and daily checklists. This is the key to large scale progress. Setting digestible and progressive milestones help tremendously in ensuring that your macro level puzzle is assembled piece by piece. After all, if you want to run a 10K, it isn't going to happen on your first try. Gradually increasing the demand or difficulty of your micro goals to keep a constant pace of progress will help to ensure nothing compiles and you stay on track. This means you can start your micro level goals extremely low and progress gradually throughout your journey without any worry of tripping. Just like weightlifting, there should be a progressive overload. In many cases, these micro level goals can even overlap into other areas. Making sure you're drinking enough water, balancing your diet, and running a calculated number of miles would all be ways to work towards your macro level goal. If you have a physical goal, like running, the aforementioned 10K, along with wanting to clean up your diet and say, breathe more, drinking water can aid in each of those macro level goals and should lead to a greater sense of accomplishment. Time is sensitive, so the more areas you can enhance at once, the better you'll feel. And that's important. Continuing a sense of accomplishment is always vital to any sustainable progress. Don't forget that enjoying the process of growth is equally as important as meeting your goals. After all, if you have high expectations for yourself, the time spent working towards them shouldn't suck. Taking on your tasks, no matter how small, in a playful and explorative manner can help to remain consistent throughout the process. This doesn't mean that you should immediately love working with the goal, but pushing yourself into catastrophic discomfort every day for something you historically have felt 100% okay with giving up on is not a sustainable way of making progress. The biggest problem with the goal-oriented approach, however, is the inevitable failure of reaching these goals. Even if the bar is set low, Life happens, people slip up. Even just one failure can mentally derail someone from continuing their journey, but it doesn't have to be like that. Whenever I have a client who is extraordinarily busy, I always ensure backup plans are included in their schedules. Being that I most often provide strength and conditioning routines, these backup plans are usually protocols that take half the time of a traditional workout and only require the equipment my client has at home. That way, if they don't have time to drive to the gym, spend an hour working out, drive back, and deal with all the complications that come in that way, they can still work towards their goals in a calculated manner. This, of course, doesn't only apply to workouts. Meal prepping can save time on cooking and also have some spare backup meals for when time is short. Saving podcast episodes to learn about topics that you're trying to read up on can take the time out of dedicated reading when you can't sit in one place. And keeping a notepad to help you brain dump fresh ideas can help craft new schedules for future progress. The goal behind a backup plan is to boil down your main macro level into digestible, small components and remove any less than necessary work. In order to avoid getting beaten down by life, you have to learn how to roll with the punches, and there's always a way to move forward if you adequately plan for inconvenience. If time doesn't even permit backup plans, a little bit of creativity goes a long way. In terms of physical training, incidental training is a method where someone finds a way to work towards their goal while accomplishing other tasks. If you want a stronger back, put a pull-up bar in your door frame and do 5 reps every walkthrough. It's not much, but it takes no time and will amount to dozens of reps in a day that you otherwise wouldn't have done. Likewise, practicing breath work, resting squats, and marching in place, or snacking on the go can all be ways to accomplish your goals when there simply isn't a convenient time to do it properly. You should never rely on your backup plans, of course, and always intend to follow through with your goals as closely as possible, but these methods do help to keep momentum going when life doesn't go as planned. No matter how hard we try, sometimes backup plans don't work and everything feels lost. It's important to remember that doing something is better than doing nothing, and by simply starting this journey, you're further along than you were before. For many people, starting at square zero, especially those who struggle in the winter months, it can be overwhelming to even get enough water in a day. Give yourself credit where credit's due, and congratulate yourself on any and all accomplishments. If you're moving, you're improving, and isn't that the goal behind growth? Some days are going to be slow, sure, but others will be extraordinary. It's way too easy to focus on the negatives and completely ignore the amazing growth I'm sure you're accomplishing. In the age of curated social media posts, it's important to remember that the glamorous lifestyle isn't real and that everyone has their struggles, setbacks, and vices. It's natural. It's okay. It's worth noting not all progress is easily measurable either. Let's go back to that 10K example for a moment. Some runs are going to feel awful. You're not going to be running at your normal pace. Everything's going to feel slow and off. And on those days, it should be enough to simply say that you went out and tried. But if you're anything like me, that won't be adequate. So let's do the next best thing and turn a bad session into a learning opportunity. On that bad run, try to focus on one specific aspect of your form. Is your double down pulse timed correctly? If not, try to improve it. That's a win and progress you wouldn't have otherwise made. Is your head over your foot in each step? If not, work to correct it. Find the small wins in your work, and that will help to elevate your bad days to a meaningful progress and accomplish something that otherwise would have been undone. This is the very reason I encourage my fighters to never think about sparring matches as bouts to be won, instead seeing them as opportunities to learn. If they enter the round with a goal in mind and try to get better at task at hand, then they won no matter what the perceived outcome. Every match ends on a high note and motivation keeps rolling. So there you have it. Remember, 2025 is a blank slate, and how you fill it is entirely up to you. Set realistic goals, enjoy the process, have backup plans, and celebrate every step of progress, no matter how small. Growth isn't linear, it's not always glamorous, but it is always worth it. If this video inspired you or gave you some helpful tips, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about your goals for this new year and how you're planning to tackle them. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who might need a little extra motivation to become the person you know they can be. Here's to a year of progress, learning, and becoming the best versions of ourselves. See you in the next one.